Hey everybody, this is AJYT Abbott, and we are mere hours from the Season 10 premiere of The Walking Dead. So these are going to be my death predictions for Season 10. There's a lot of, talk about who's going to die and who's going to live, and who might die and who might live, but let's talk about it. Alright, so Daryl Dixon is obviously going to be safe. He is essentially the main character right now. There isn't really a main character in The Walking Dead. Rick was the main character. And, now it's sort of shifted into a 3 main lead characters with Michonne, Daryl, and Carol. But I don't think Daryl will run into problems concerning death this season. He will probably be doing most of the killing. Of course, Carol is going to survive. She is one of the best Walking Dead characters in terms of survival. She knows how to handle herself, and I don't see her having any trouble this season with making it out. She will most likely be the one to take out Alpha. If not, I don't know who will, because she is the most fit to take out Alpha. At least in my opinion, she deserves it after Alpha has put her through with, killing Henry last season with the Pikes. Michonne, she is leaving the show this year, but I guarantee she will be fine. It's Michonne. She will be just fine. Coming out of last season with her being sort of depressed and, shady with the new group after losing Rick, even 5 years later, she's just paranoid and is depressed and not really depressed, but just stubborn as ever. But I don't like Daryl and Carol. I don't think she'll have a problem with survival this season. She will easily exit the show. Eugene has done a lot of stuff in this show, and I'm surprised he's not dead yet. But I don't think Eugene will run into any trouble this season. I think his story will be very interesting this season, though, of course, with Father Gabriel, Rosita, and Siddiq, that little love triangle, love square now, because Eugene, likes Rosita. Rosita has a baby now, so, Eugene could step up. But yeah, I don't think he'll die this season. Rosita, I really love Rosita. I've enjoyed the hell out of her the last couple seasons. Even when she was in her moody phase after Abraham's death, and the whole drama with Sasha, I still enjoyed her heavily. But she has a baby this season she's going to be looking at, and she has a lot on her plate this season, and I just feel like, where she's having this baby, and then when there's 3 guys involved with her, Siddiq, Eugene, and Father Gabriel, I think it would be a very devastating time for them to kill her off, which works for the showrunners because they're like, hey, people are really enjoying Rosita. She has a lot of character development, a lot of story ahead of her. Let's just cut all that off and kill her this season. And I feel like that's how the writers will work it out, and we could possibly see the death of Rosita. I don't want to, but it is possible. Alright, Gabriel is the first person out of this video that I really think has a high chance of dying. I believe that he will indeed get his comic book death. If he does not, I really don't know what to think, because I don't see any other way for him to go out. But I just don't think he's going to make it out of this season. It's time for him to go. I believe by the end of the season, one of the guys that's involved with Rosita is going to be dead. And Father Gabriel, him being around all this time, he's had a lot of story. There's not much left they can do with him. Whereas Siddiq, we're just starting to get to know him, really. I mean, think about it. We've only known him since, when we really started to get to know him as a character. And Eugene's been around since season 4, and he still has a lot of story left in him. But Gabriel doesn't have much left to do, so he's most likely going to die. Negan is a very complex character, but I feel like he will make it out of this season easily. I mean, there is so much more they can do with Negan. Of course, last season he was majority of it, he was in a cell. But they are starting the Negan redemption arc from the comics. and hopefully he gets to infiltrate Alpha. Alpha's that little story in the comics. That's one of my favorite stories involving Negan from the comics, when he beheads Alpha. Yeah. Aaron, Aaron, like Father Gabriel, there's just not much more you can do with him. They've killed his boyfriend, Eric, in Season 8. They killed Jesus. And, they're teasing for this season he's not going to be that nice person that we've always seen, out of him since, like, Season 5, I think he was introduced. And I feel like when you're angry, you get stupid, and stupid gets you killed, obviously. I just don't think there isn't much left in him. Because, at this point, he is just an emotional and psychological wreck. After, last season we lost Jesus, and, he lost his arm, and it seems like he's going to be pissed at Negan for some reason this season, as we see in the trailer, so it's a maybe. Ezekiel, after dodging a huge bullet, by surviving his comic book, outcome, he survived the Pikes last year. That's when he dies in the comics, and he survived. He lived through that. So, I just think that now is the time that they will shock fans, and they will kill him off, in some way. I don't know how they will. Maybe he'll die during the Whisper War, because I feel like to avenge Henry, Carol and Ezekiel are going to be ready to fight her, Alpha. And I feel like out of those two, one of them is not going to make it out, and I feel like Carol has a high of plot armor, more than Ezekiel has. We've gotten to know him for, at least 3 or 4 seasons now, so eventually there isn't that much more they'll be able to do with him. They've taken away the kingdom, so he's on the death list. As for Jerry, now I don't know if Jerry's going to survive this season. This is just pure... I'm kind of biased on this choice, just because I love Jerry. He's one of the best characters, and I'm glad that he has finally been promoted to a main character, which could also be a bad thing. He has a family with Nabila. He has 2 or 3 kids, but I just can't wait to see what's in store for Jerry this season. There's not too much can really take away from him. He's just a great character. Siddiq is very complex this season because he's having flashbacks and basically not trauma, but he's still dealing with the aftermath of the Pikes. And from the looks of season 10, it looks like at least a few months have passed since the Pikes. So he's still dealing with that, so I think he'll make it out, though. Alden, another very complex character, because last season, in season 8, he was the savior, and in season 9, he's, turned a new leaf, and, he was very good allies with Maggie, and then they kind of just sidelined that. Like, they were kind of building something with him and Maggie in season 8, and then season 9 it kind of got blew all away, and he got with Enid after the time skip, and then Enid died, and he's pissed at Lydia, so I think he might do something that could possibly get him killed, either, trying to fight the Whisperers. Like, let's just say they plan an attack, but he's not good with it, he wants to do it now. Like, they're like, man, we gotta wait, we gotta think this out. He's like, no, I'm done waiting, and he goes, kind of like Sasha and Rosita did in season 7, and kind of how Daryl and Tara did last in season 8 as well. But Magna, she was just introduced. She's got to be one of my favorites out of the new cast of characters that were promoted to this season. I don't think Magna will die. There's a whole lot more they can do with her. And, from the trailer, we see that we're going to get some more stuff with her, involving her and Yumiko, their relationship, because we haven't really touched on it all that much. It was like, I think they kissed once in 9/15, the Pike episode, But yeah, that was it. Yumiko, same thing as Magna. I really don't think we're going to see the death of Yumiko. Yumiko is my favorite out of the new group, just because she just reminds me a lot of Daryl, which I also love. He's one of my favorites. And she's just all around a really cool person. I'm glad we have a British person in The Walking Dead. That's just adds to the coolness that, she's British. I don't know, it's fun. But her and Magna should get out of this season, no problem, unscathed. They'll fight with the Whispers. Fight against the Whispers, I mean. Connie! Oh my gosh, I love Connie. Like, season 9 made me love the heck. Heck. Okay, I combined those two words. They made me really love and enjoy Connie, last season. And I just don't think they would kill her off in her prime right now. They could. I don't know. Walking Dead has pulled some crazy turns on us before. Just look at Jesus and Carl and them. But, she's building a little friendship with Daryl, so that should be fun. Judith, I don't even think I need to explain this one that much. She is obviously going to be safe. I mean, the daughter of Rick Grimes, and Michonne, the sister of Carl, she has all the genes, all the badass genes inside of her. And judging by the opening minutes of the Season 10 premiere that I've watched, she is going to absolutely wreck this season. And I'm excited to see where her relationship with Negan goes, and excited about how much she's going to contribute with the war. Probably not too much. She'll probably just look after RJ. Alpha needs to die this season. I hope she needs to die this season. Hopefully Carol gets to kill her. If not, Daryl or somebody will kill her. Or Negan, because of course they'll do the Negan sneaks into the Whisper Camp arc, I hope. Or not arc, but a little spiel. I hope they do that, because that's one of my favorite, Negan storylines from the comics, as I said before. And I hope they definitely will kill Alpha this season. I don't think the Whisperer War, I don't think this battle or this conflict with the Whispers will last as long as the Saviors did, because the Savior conflict lasted about 2 seasons, two and a half seasons. Because, we had the second half of Season 6, they started fighting with them, and then Season 7 and Season 8, they wrapped it up. Actually, Season 9, they had a little bit of conflict, but anyway. Yeah, Alpha is definitely going to die, but Lydia, her daughter, on the other hand, there's so much more they can do with her, and I'm glad that they've kept her around, this long. And, they were forming something with her and Henry, but of course that all got thrown away during the Pikes, and I'm sure that Lydia will be ready to fight against the Whispers, because, those may be her people, but that was when she still thought that, her mom at least liked her a little bit, but as we saw in 9:15, Alpha is done with Lydia. So, Beta, he may die. They might stretch this out till next season. They may kill Alpha and kill a whole bunch of the Whispers, and it may seem over, and then maybe like the final minutes of the finale, we see Beta, with the huge herd that he's going to lead into Alexandria, sort of like John did in the comics. But I don't know. They might reverse that, because we thought we had a John character in one of the Saviors in Season 8. And then he was one of the Saviors that teamed up with Siddiq to go against Negan, and they all died. So, yeah. But Beta, he'll either get his comic book death being shot by Aaron, but I don't know about Aaron, because Aaron's one of the ones that I think could die this season. But I don't know, it's a maybe for now. I could be wrong, but we'll just have to see. So I wanted to include Kelly and Luke because they were left out of the cast. They were not promoted, which just makes me even more certain that they are going to die. Kelly, I think they will kill her off, because I've seen bits and pieces of, the Season 10 premiere. Not all of it, not, huge chunks of it. But I did see one little bit of it where, like, Kelly and Connie are talking, and I think Kelly's, like, losing her hearing, which could be bad. That's not a good thing in the apocalypse. So I think she will definitely die, but she will die protecting somebody, because I feel like, Kelly is that kind of person that would do that. And Magna, Yumiko, and Connie will be devastated, especially Connie, because Connie and Kelly are sisters. But I don't know. They might build up the Connie and Kelly bond more this season, which could even more lead to her death. Luke, I love Dan Fogler. I really didn't think that I would think that much of this character, but he is a really fun character. I have the whole music teacher thing that they sort of play on in season 9, where he has this fetish of getting damaged instruments, or just instruments in general, in the apocalypse, and saving them, which is fun. But he's a very fun character, but he is one of the ones that didn't get promoted, and it's just kind of weird how Connie, Magna, and Yumiko got promoted, and Kelly and Luke didn't. So that's just making me a little bit suspicious about their survivability. Just have to see this season. I really hope he doesn't go. He's a really fun, as I said. So that was my death predictions for season 10 of The Walking Dead. Let me know what you guys think of my death predictions. Am I wrong or am I right? Leave your own death predictions down in the comments also. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.